Earlier this month, I went on my first ever solo trip. I was all by myself and I had kind of a creepy encounter with a guy at the airport. But in filming this video, I didn't yet know everything that I know now. There's some more details. I assumed it was just a creepy guy. It happens, unfortunately. I didn't totally realize until recently what was going on. All of the details are something I can lay out in a whole nother video. I was on my way to a YouTube conference. It's something I've been going to the past few years. Usually my whole family goes, but this year my family didn't want to go, and I thought, I just turned 18. This would be a great opportunity to actually get, a short solo trip in. I get to learn how to travel by myself. I should still go. So I did. I had to fly into Dallas, Texas, and Dallas has a super serious problem when it comes to human trafficking. You're not in that headspace. You don't ever think something like that will happen to you. I think God had my back there a little bit. So this is what happened. So it's about 7:30 in the morning. My house to the airport is almost a few hours. It's a pretty good drive. So this is actually going to be the farthest I have ever driven. I'm a little nervous about that, to be honest. Driving all the way to Washington just to get on a plane, fly all the way to Texas. This is my first real adulting experience. I've never stayed more than one night away alone, so this is going to be interesting. I'm honestly so nervous about the airport parking. I'm scared I'm gonna take too long to try to figure out how to, get my car situated and everything, and I'm gonna run out of time, and then I'm gonna get on a shuttle to get back to the airport, and I'm gonna, not know where to get off and miss my flight. It doesn't help that I left 20 minutes later than I was supposed to. I'm gonna lock in for the next few hours. I've got coffee, I've got snacks, and we're gonna see how it goes. I'm just following the signs. Economy parking, I think what I want. $6 a day. Sounds about right. Okay. Lot E, row 11. I did it. So I've taken care of the parking situation. I've scratched that off the to-do list. So all that's left is to wait for the shuttle, which I don't know when it's coming. Hello. Hi. Me right there. I made it through TSA. I think that was genuinely the most stressful TSA check. They put me through one thing and they put me through the other scanner thing, and it was like sweating after that. But finding my gate is not as difficult as I thought it would be. A4. Just gotta find A4. So I made it to my gate, made it to the airport all right. I did my longest drive yet, longest car venture. I felt like I was gonna mess it up somehow, like I was not gonna be able to make it to my flight on time with all the shuttle and everything, but it was actually way easier than I thought it was gonna be. It was pretty straightforward. The airport was kind of a breeze. I checked in online, TSA was quick, slightly stressful, they were yelling a lot, but I think I'm pretty used to just the process of going to the airport at this point with all the traveling my family's done in the past 2 years or so. So even though I left late, I still have an hour to spare. There's about an hour and a half until the flight departs. So I have my hotel room all situated. It's at the convention center, and I'm going to be sharing it with 2 other girls. We can all stick together during the conference and watch each other's backs. So I'm super excited. This feels so weird though, just to be traveling alone. There's still some things I need to figure out, like how I'm getting from the airport to the hotel once I land, but that's what this about 4-hour flight's for, so we'll see how it goes. Heard that it's going to be a little bumpy, or extremely bumpy, the first 30 minutes because there's some bad weather, so hopefully I don't show up to Dallas extremely motion sick. The germaphobe in me Lysoled the entire plane. I ate half a bag of 2-day-old amusement park popcorn, and I ended up getting some sleep. Well, until the turbulence started.
Flight attendants and passengers, please be seated.
past like 15 minutes, I've kind of been wandering around. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little lost. I'm not used to this airport, but I think I got it now. It was a super long flight. My ears still hurt. I can barely hear anything. I'm at the baggage claim now where the doors are. I didn't want to go and get an Uber because I am traveling solo as a young girl right now. So maybe that wouldn't be the smartest move. I'm just trying to be extra safe because it's my first time traveling. But in a lucky turn of events, the girl that I am sharing a room with, she's driving here and she's gonna pass right by the airport. So she's gonna come get me in about 20 minutes, which is awesome. So we can carpool the whole trip. And so until then, I am just going to hang out for a little while. So right after this, as I'm sitting in baggage claim, is when I get approached for the first time. This guy that was walking around baggage claim, he kept looking over at me, he was watching me. As soon as I turned my camera off, he came up to me. So I'm just thinking, ew, creepy old guy, that sucks. I did find it a little weird though that he was just kind of walking the room. I don't know why you would be walking around in baggage claim. He had no luggage, there was no sign he was traveling or waiting for anybody. There's a guy that's been walking around a little bit and keeps smiling at me. And he looks like he's probably like 45. And he came up to me and he went, "Are you streaming?" Because he saw my camera. And I said no, and he was like, "Oh, okay, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm YouTubing." And then he asked, he's like, "Can I have your stuff?" And he pointed at his phone, and I think he meant like my channel. But to be honest, I didn't really want to give it to him. I don't need his sub. I don't know if he meant that or my contact information. He's being a little weird. But I was like, no. Then he just went, "Oh, okay, and walked away. And then he came back. He went, you're beautiful." And then he walked away. So that was an uncomfortable interaction. Awesome, that was within my first 10 minutes of being here. So I'm just going to wait for my friend and stay next to the airport security. But after he approaches me, he leaves baggage claim. 5-10 minutes later, he comes back. My phone number? I think I'm gonna move areas because that guy is kind of creeping me out, so. A little discouraging of an interaction. So I move outside. I'm waiting for my friend to pick me up. Once she shows up, we drive directly to our hotel. And that night was kind of the kickoff starter party for the conference. So the whole time I was in a group of friends and I stepped away for a couple of minutes. Within 30 seconds of standing alone, a guy approaches me. If it wasn't the same guy, it was a guy of the same ethnicity with the same accent. When you show up to the conference, they give you a lanyard badge and a bracelet. You can't take the bracelet off the entire conference. It says you're supposed to be there. He did not have either, so I am certain he did not belong there. And that's kind of when I realized, oh, I think I've been followed and this guy's been watching me. He starts telling me, "You're so beautiful, you're so beautiful." He starts asking me, "Why are you here? Where are you staying?" The guy was more aggressive this time. He was really invading my personal space. So I started going, "I work for the conference. I'm staying 20 minutes away." I just didn't want him to know that I was staying at the hotel right there. He starts asking me for my phone number. I got very loud and I started saying, "No, no, you can't have my phone number. You can't have my phone number." Because I was doing that, a woman that was standing nearby and the guy she was with, they got really concerned and they came over. The lady physically removed me from him. Something that made me really uneasy though was the fact that he did follow me to a YouTube conference and I had a badge on that had my full name on it, and so it kind of just told him that you could find me easily on the internet. He knew my name at that point then. I didn't tell it to him, but I'm sure he saw it on the badge. I would be really concerned if I hadn't already made sure to try to take all of my private information, like ways you can find my phone number or something like that, off of the internet. I pretty much erased every trace of super sensitive information on myself completely off of the internet, and that's because I used Incogni, which could have really helped me. So I'm so glad they're the sponsor of today's video. What Incogni does is it reaches out to data brokers, and data brokers, their entire job is just to collect your personal information, things like phone number, your address, your social security number, your kids' names, your employment history, and they sell it. And that is stuff you do not want in the wrong hands. It leads to spam calls and emails. You can have your identity stolen, passwords, and hack into your social media accounts. My main concern was taking myself off of those people's search sites. sites. And people search sites are a huge issue in terms of your privacy. Anyone can find out anything they want about you. So I'm really glad I took care of that, because that could have been something that totally came back to me. But I learned something interesting. Upon request, these data brokers that have all my information, they have to delete it. So Incogni's job is to go and find all of the data brokers and make them do it, because that's not something you could do manually by yourself. It would take hundreds of hours and you'd have to keep repeating the process. So Incogni does all of that for you, and they stay on top of it. I actually just got one of my new reports back. Look at all of the successful requests. That is so many people that had my information. So you can get an individual plan, or you can get a friends and family plan where you can add up to 4 people on the subscription. Helps you keep your friends and family safe too. So to take your personal data back with Incogni, use code NEVEA in the link in the description below to get 60% off an annual plan. So I'm really glad I did that. So that was kind of a scary night, and it was my first night being away, so that was kind of a double whammy. But luckily I was around people. I'm really grateful for that. I think this situation really protected me. So I think I was safe for the rest of the night. I went back up to the room, I got some sleep, and in the morning I was ready to start my trip off the right way. Welcome to Texas. This is not what I was expecting weather-wise. It's pouring. It shows it's gonna be pouring pretty much the whole time. And it's like 75 degrees, but it doesn't feel 75 degrees because it's also really windy, so it's a little cold. So it's not doing my hair any favors. We're gonna make the most of it. My back is getting rained on. Okay. A reservation for Nevaeh Sousa, please. Yeah. So that was one more thing to figure out. I've never had to check into a hotel before, but that was pretty easy. That only took about a minute. So the conference starts today. I already went down to the lobby and I saw a bunch of old friends and a bunch of people I recognized, which was really cool. So I'm super excited. And I'm actually kind of surprised my parents haven't been, trying to text me too much. They're not like, where are you? Where are you? Please check on me. I don't know where I am and I'm scared. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing okay. It's a little weird. It's a little bit weird, I'm not gonna lie. This is an event I always go to with my family, so I always have my siblings and stuff with me, and so to not and be by myself feels a little different. Like the trip itself feels a little different, but we're just getting started. So I'm really excited. Day 1. Rainy Texas weather. It's only about 8 a.m. and everybody is down here. It is busy. There's multiple speeches going on. It's kind of crazy. First day of the conference was super exciting. I was having so much fun just meeting up with all of my old friends. We went out and got quesadillas, gluten-free of course, and I went around listening to all of my favorite speakers and learning so much. So the first day of the conference is almost over. I went to all the speeches I wanted to see. I caught up with old friends. It's been really cool. But now coming up is one of my favorite things from last year. It's a party off of the convention center, not like a party. So it's a child-friendly party. I was super excited for the party. We got on these big buses. It was a little different than last year. Got kind of surprised, but it was held at a super nice hotel that was really, really high up. Yeah, I didn't like that. But it was so much fun. So it is the last day of the conference. I leave tomorrow morning and honestly everyone is so tired. I'm headed down to enjoy my last day in Texas. Weird kind of stuff you see in the city. I had a lot of coffee this day, and you know what? A lot of food. This lunch was so good. So I'm taking a little breather. I feel like I'm almost losing my voice because there's so many people. It's really loud. You have to speak up. And my throat is definitely feeling it a little bit. So I'm taking a tiny breather. I came back up to the room, recharging my social battery a teeny bit. I've been watching some of the speeches about, more of the business end of this kind of stuff. So I've been learning a lot, but something I've really been noticing is that nobody here, pretty much nobody, either stayed in college if they started, they all dropped out, or they just didn't go. It's weird. There's kind of a shift in a lot of people trying to work online and not going to school as much. And as someone who just turned 18, I get asked all the time if if I am going to school. And I've explained that it's not really my plan because nothing that's ever interested me has required it, so I figured I shouldn't rack up the student loan debt, you know. But for other people that are in the same position as me and trying to do the same kind of stuff in a similar age range, I feel like I should go around and maybe, you know, ask people a little bit about their opinion on college, because that is something that is becoming a little less popular with my generation, which is really interesting. So I'm super curious about that, which means I'm gonna run around and go bug everybody and ask them.
Nevaeh, right?
Yeah.
Did you know backwards that's heaven? I
Yes.
don't know if that's. Oh, so you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you go to college?
I did for like 1 semester. Less than a semester, I dropped out.
Did you go to college?
I did not.
I did, yeah.
I did not hit college, no.
I did. Did you go to college?
Yes. I mean, I got a full scholarship. I don't regret going because of that. If I had to pay like $200,000 in loans, I definitely would probably regret it.
Why'd you drop out?
I just didn't like it. But you should stay in school. And other drugs.
I loved college. I thought it was such a good experience.
Felt like a lot of the majors and stuff didn't really align with what I wanted to do.
I think I learned a lot about independence and being on my own in the world, and it was just a really fun time.
Do you think college is worth it?
No, I don't think so. Not even in one bit.
For me, yes.
If you're going for like a certain major, if you have a focus, then I would say yeah. But if you're just going to like fit in, or if you don't really have like a focus or vision towards that, not really, no.
I think it's worth it if you're getting into STEM. Any other field, you could probably do it on your own.
Is it worth it in an academic sense for my profession? Not really.
I feel like a lot of people go because they have no idea what to do. That might be even worse because then you end up with a lot of debt.
Absolutely. I think it's such a good experience for anybody. You learn so much about yourself. I think it's just a really good growing experience.
Do you think you have a better chance of becoming successful if you do go to college?
I know a lot of people that are skipping college and they're just like figuring it out on their own.
I feel this pressure to like work a job, and I feel like then people just get stuck because of that. Like you should really take some time.
If you're trying to be an entrepreneur, don't go to college. Just like use those 4 years to build something for yourself.
I talked to a lot of people, ones I didn't even show on camera. Everyone that went kind of had the same answer of, you know, they enjoyed themselves, but they didn't need it. It wasn't necessary. And everyone that didn't go, they kind of came to that conclusion of how it would be before even having to go. So kind of makes me a little more confident in my own thought process. I don't want to rack up the student loan debt right when I'm starting my life. I'd rather save my money and keep working and try to work towards what it is I ultimately want. So that part of it was really encouraging. That's why stuff like this is cool, you know? You get to meet a bunch of different people and people with different experiences, and you learn a little bit. So this is my last night here. This is the last night of the conference. So there is one more closing ceremony party type of thing for the end of the night. So I'm gonna head over to that, and then tomorrow I'm flying out. I don't know I'm getting to the airport yet, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. Oh my gosh. I should be figuring that out. I'm gonna do that, but for now, I'm gonna enjoy my last night here in Dallas. So it's about 9 a.m. in the morning. I made it to the airport. I made it through TSA and everything like that. The whole getting to the airport situation, I ended up sharing an Uber with a girl I work with. So that was really nice. That definitely worked out perfectly. So my flight boards in about 25 minutes. So I mean, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna sleep on the plane. So I'm a little sleep deprived. I'm running on a lot of caffeine. I just hate thinking about the fact that as soon as I get home, I'm gonna have to drive 3 hours. Once I get off the plane, my traveling day definitely isn't done. Oh no, I'm gonna miss the shuttle. Oh no, that's terrible. Oh my gosh, you have no idea how happy I am to see her. I'm so exhausted. I don't think I've ever been this tired coming back from a trip. I have a 2.5-hour drive ahead of me, so. But now I do have to figure out how, you know, the whole payment ticket thing works. This is like the tightest parking spot in the world. So I made it back safely. I took a really long nap once I got home. It felt really nice to be back. I was a little relieved. I think I'd had enough bustle and possible life-threatening encounters for a while. That trip was a very big learning experience in a lot of different ways for me. Just how easily that kind of stuff happens and just how to function as an adult, you know, watching friends' backs, being in more adult situations and having to use common sense. Biggest takeaway though, if you feel unsafe, trust your instincts, because even if you're not, you're better safe than sorry. But yeah, it was an experience. Adulting is off to an eventful start. Just be safe out there, guys.